Welcome, everybody. Glad you're still following me at Trade.Hornet at Jimmy's Faith. Thanks for being here. Let's get right into it. What I am doing is showing you why I had my two winning trades today on our Trade.Hornet Discord. Hope that you check us out. First trade I took was Tesla. It was a small win, only a 5% win, 5% first trim. So not a great banger, but hey, money is money. Why I took this trade was right in here, you see a triangle. Okay, see a triangle. You see a triangle. Remember, the first thing that I always do is I look at the overall of the MES. Here's the MES right here. I keep it on a separate chart. I have a bigger chart above, the smaller chart above this bigger chart. And right here, the MES, clearly this sucker was going up. Clearly this sucker was going up. Boom, 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 boom. Super bullish. So I know that I'm not looking short today unless I start seeing some sell-offs or unless I see something very in particular that I'm aware of, which I'll show you on the next one. But on this one, bearish, excuse me, bullish, crazy bullish. So I'm on Tesla. I see first on the 1 hour, I see this sucker right here. That's a strong, pretty strong bullish pin bar. It's a strong bullish pin bar. And I made the assumption that after this retest right here, pull back a little way, that it was going to try and make itself back up. Now, I was wrong, but that's why I got into part of this trade. Then I came over to the 5 minute for a scalp. On this 5 minute scalper right here, marked it down with the blue little line right here. This is where I got in. Got in here, and it's not my ideal trade, but this closed. Had a nice little wick right here, so I had a little bit of a false breakout. Closed back up, big candlestick, and it closed above 3 areas of confluence right here. The trend line closed against this white moving average, and it closed also against this blue moving average, which means confluence number 1, confluence number 2, confluence number 3. My rules are it has to close above 3 areas of confluence before I enter. Now, it didn't break outside of the pattern, which 95% of the time I do wait for that. But the reason I jumped in sooner was because if you look right here, Tesla was very bullish. If you look over here, Tesla has been bullish for multiple days. And then I combined that with the MES that I showed you. That was all bullish. Everything was super bullish. So it closed above with some wick. It had 3 areas of confluence. And I entered right here at the close. And then it rolled up to here, which was going to be my first target, which is exactly where it went. Went right up to here, my first target, which is a 5% trim. I got in at the 5% trim. Took my profits, and we locked in 5%. If you look at our Trade.Hornet Discord, you'll see that I did that there in the signal. And then it pulled back down to here, which is where I got out. Because once I hit my first target, I always take my profits. So again, once we hit our first trim, if price action pulls back, I always get out at my entry price. I'm never willing to have a winner turn into a loser. So that's why we got a 5% trim on part of our contracts. Then we got out at break even for the rest, and that was that. But even right here would have been a good win. See how that had a nice little pin bar? Confluence 1, confluence 2, confluence 3. It was 4 areas of confluence. So that would have been a good trade. But if you see right here, came right down. So it would have been a good entry, but it still would have been a loss. And that's why we use tight stop loss in this game. Because if we're wrong, we got to get out tight. And if we're right, it'll keep on going. So that's why I took this Tesla trade. The next trade that I took was AMC. And I'll just zoom that in right here so you can see that a little bit better. Marcette always yells at me for this on Discord, so I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And let's go right here. This trade right here. Okay. Crazy bullish trade moving to the upside. Why did I go short? Because I went short on this. And again, if you look into the Discord, you'll see that I did that in the main room. I showed everybody this in the main room. It was a 17% win. I also put it on my Instagram, so you can check that out. But that's right there to validate it. It shows the times as well. But what we have right here is a big move up in a ascending wedge. And ascending wedges, when you get them on the 1 hour, quite often they're going to sell off. And to be honest, even though it's super bullish, you know, when you, and this is why I still took this, because even though it was super bullish, the MES was super bullish, when you get a very clean ascending wedge on the 1 hour, when it breaks to the downside, what it's supposed to do, an ascending wedge should break to the downside. Won't always, But when it does, it's a good trade. And I know it's bucking the trend a little bit, but when you get that on the 1 hour and then it also matches on the 5 minute, it's usually a good trade. Now, I'm not saying you should necessarily take that. I'm just saying that for me, from with a lot of experience, it's usually a pretty good setup. So what I did was see the nice strong move up on the 1 hour. Then we had a beautiful wedge, ascending wedge right here with the yellow wedge on the 1 hour. And then I saw it starting to break down. And we know that once it breaks out, it's going to be a move to the downside. So I saw it breaking out. It also gave us a bearish engulfing. Okay, so we have the breakout of the wedge and a bearish engulfing. Then I came over to here. Same thing was happening. There's still a minor wedge on this one. And here's the wedge. Okay, on a smaller time frame, you see that wedge. You got your anchor point, anchor point, anchor point, anchor point, anchor, anchor, anchor. And there's a beautiful wedge, ascending wedge. Over here, we saw the breakout. Okay. Now I saw that breakout of two areas of confluence. It broke out of the red moving average and the yellow wedge right there. Confluence number 1, confluence number 2. If anybody's asking our students, what is that red moving average? We don't have a red moving average on the 5 minute. Well, I just put that 50-minute, that 50-day moving average on this red 50-day moving average. I just put that there today to see if that will work for my students. And I can explain that in the class if you can remember. Why did I put that third one there when you've told us not to put that there? Well, ask me in the class and I'll explain why I put that additional 50-day moving average there. I don't normally use that, but I'm trying it right now to do something to help my new students. So ask me and I can try to remember to tell you that. But here it is, the moving average. And then right here, I didn't take in yet, but I got in right here. And the reason I got in right in this right here is because we had that breakout right here. Number 1, it broke out of the yellow trend line. It broke out of the red moving average, and it was a bearish pin bar. Not a strong pin bar, but it's still a red bearish pin bar. So that's 3 areas of confluence. The pin bar, the red moving average, and the yellow trend line, 3 areas of confluence. That's why I got in to go short. But I also looked to the left. I saw right here, we also had a pin bar, and we also had an inside continuation. And a lot of times when you get a pin bar that is also an inside continuation, it's another strong indicator that it could continue to go down. So we saw the wedge over here. We saw it breaking out hard, and it did. And then we came over here. We saw the wedge. We saw it break down. We saw 2 confluences here. And then we saw over here 3 areas of confluence breaking out of an ascending wedge. I knew it was going to push down, and I knew it was going to push down to this white moving average. That white weekly support line right there. That's a weekly support line. I knew it was going to probably get sucked down to there. So that's where I put my target. That's where I got a strong 20% win. And that's why I took these 2 trades. Everybody, thank you very much. If you like this, hit me a DM and let me know or something. So I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm not going to keep on doing this if nobody's watching. But if people watching them, if I hit like 50 or 100 views, then I'll keep it going. Thank you. See you next time.